Okay, thank you so much, Leader Julius, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. And welcome all leaders from around the world. This is your host for today. My name is Manish, and I belong from India. I'm a business coach and a crypto trader since the last 2.5 years. And we have our own academy called Royal Q Academy in India and around India, wherever we have our team. So, in the under the umbrella of Crypto Ambassador, we learn and teach to our teams how to get the maximum out of this crypto space. And today, the topic that we have decided for you is a new topic that how to get the maximum advantage of this bull run, which is about to start. What are the important events? What are the important events which are going to happen in very near future? You have to be aware of all these events, and particularly what is the impact of all these events on the crypto industry. So, as we all know that the market is dominated by the number one cryptocurrency in the world, that is Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has the highest dominance. It is the first and the most important cryptocurrency and the most valued cryptocurrencies in the world. So let us begin today's session by learning about Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin? How it started? Why it started? What is the use of Bitcoin? And what is the most important event that is coming very close? If we have this knowledge, we can be very well prepared for what is going to happen, and if we are prepared, we can take the maximum advantage of this opportunity. So let me share my screen first. I hope you have invited all your team members, all your friends, all the people you know that may be interested in crypto, or they are already in your team. So let me share my screen, and you can send an invite to all the people, even your prospects, even your friends. So today we are going to understand about Bitcoin, and then we will understand what is the best strategy that we can use in today's scenario, today's market. So I hope you can see my screen clearly, and let me make it full screen for you. I hope you can see it better now. Okay, so this is Bitcoin, and we all know, we all love Bitcoin. This is the first cryptocurrency that started a revolution. It started 15 years back. What is Bitcoin and what is cryptocurrency? We all know cryptocurrency is a virtual currency designed to act as money and a form of payment outside the control of any one person, group, or entity, and thus removing the need for any third party involvement in this financial transaction. This is in one sentence. I can explain it. This is your money. This is your money. This is people's money. This is only owned by you. This is controlled by you. This is your own money that you can have full advantage. Okay, so Bitcoin was started when we saw that the first blockchain was built. It happened in the year 2009. A fine individual group of individual with an anonymous name of Satoshi Nakamoto, they started building the first blockchain, and it was the birth of Bitcoin. What is a blockchain? But blockchain is a digital database that is distributed among all the nodes, all the peers among that network, and that is called a peer-to-peer network. You don't need any centralized authority. You don't need any centralized network to record your transaction, to validate your transaction, but it is distributed among all the people around the world who come in this blockchain to as a node. They together verify the same transaction, and the same information is recorded by everyone, and thus this new block is formed, and this is added to the previous block, and this continues to expand and grow the blockchain. But now, what is the most important thing we must understand about Bitcoin? First of all, any new person who comes to know about Bitcoin, he wonders, why do we need this new currency when we all have our we all have our fiat currency, our local currency that is issued by our government, that is maintained in our banks. We can use the banks, we can use the currency. Why do we need why do we need a new currency that is not controlled by bank, that is not issued by the government, but this is a people's money? Why do we need it? The the need for starting a new currency or a new form of money started when we all around the world, all the people around the world, they have a common suffering. They had a common suffering that has been there since many years, that is called inflation, that we call inflation. We all suffer from inflation. I hope you all agree. Whichever country you're coming from, I see a lot of people coming from different countries. You can say yes if you don't like inflation. If you don't like inflation, just type yes in the chat. Just type yes in the chat. If you don't like inflation, let me hear it from you. Who likes inflation? Who doesn't likes inflation? Let me hear it from you. Who likes inflation or who doesn't like inflation? Yes, we are all facing inflation. We all face inflation. Who else don't want inflation? Who else don't like inflation? If you don't like inflation, type yes. I don't like. I don't want inflation. I don't want inflation. Even I don't want inflation. Nobody likes inflation, because that is what is inflation? That is the depreciation of your money, of your savings uh, in your account, that we see every year. The value of our money is going down. If you save a $100 or $1,000 today, it will not be the same value after 1 year or in the coming years, because the inflation is depreciating its value. You don't have the freedom to save your money and grow it unless you invest your money, unless you invest your savings into a growing asset that can increase the value of your savings, right? So that is why we need a new form of investment. Why don't we love to keep our money in the form of our local currency? Because we saw that the banks on which we trust, they are printing endless money, they are printing endless new currency every year, and there is no limit to it. There is no backing in form of any gold or security. So they are free to print as much money, and that is causing an unlimited supply. And we all know, if you understand this, if the supply is greater than demand, the value of that product decreases, right? So same way, the value of our money is decreasing day by day if we keep it in our fiat currency. But now we have a new currency that is not decreasing, but it is increasing in value, and it is actually free from inflation. It is free from inflation, and we don't require any banking systems to control or monitor our transaction. We keep our own records on a blockchain, that is a decentralized distributed ledger. Okay, so why we say that Bitcoin is increasing in value, it is free from inflation? Because it has the most important thing, that it has scarcity in design. Scarcity means the total supply of Bitcoin is limited to 21 billion Bitcoin. That means after 21 million Bitcoin, even if the demand keeps on increasing, there will be no new Bitcoin. So we have to all adjust our portfolios, our investments in these 21 million Bitcoins. So what happens, if you can imagine, all the rich people, all the billionaires around the world, they will be running after Bitcoin to acquire more and more of Bitcoin. This will increase the demand. The demand is increasing. The demand is increasing and increasing every day. The demand is increasing every day, but the supply is limited. The demand is increasing, but the supply is limited. That is the cause of growth in value of Bitcoin. And this is also a permissionless banking, which doesn't require any permission from any bank or any government. It cannot be controlled, it cannot be stopped even. So this is why we need Bitcoin. I hope you all have a better idea. Now, the second question which comes to everyone's mind is, how do we earn? How can we earn from Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency? There are four ways, and we call it a crypto quadrant. There are four ways to make money from crypto. First is through mining. If you have knowledge, if you have resources, you can start your own mining plant, and there you need to invest a lot of money. Then you can successfully mine and verify these transactions on blockchain. In the reward you earn a block reward, you earn a mining reward as your income. So this was the first activity which started from the starting of Bitcoin. People started mining it. Nobody knew that we can also trade it, we can also keep it on staking, we can also hold it. So many people started holding it. Why they started? Because they saw that this is a limited supply asset, and in the future the value will increase, this is bound to increase. So they started holding it, even they started to put it on staking. But the most popular and the most profitable way to make money from crypto or Bitcoin is called trading. Trading means buying low and selling high and making a good profit. This is the easiest way, but not so easy. You have to learn it, you have to understand it. But now, first, we have another important event that is coming very near to our future, that is called Bitcoin halving. What is Bitcoin halving? We must understand this if we want to take advantage of this event. A Bitcoin halving is an event when the reward for mining Bitcoin transactions is cut to half. I told you the first ever activity which started from Bitcoin was mining Bitcoin. People used to mine Bitcoin, and in the reward they used to get a few number of Bitcoin, few quantity of Bitcoin that was fixed. And this was the event. The halving event is the event which occurs after every 4 years. And why this is happening? To cut the reward for mining to half. And this is the only way we can control the total supply and limit it to 21 million Bitcoin. So these are the halving events. If you think that you are late, if you think that you are late 15 years, you are still early, because we only have witnessed 3 Bitcoin halvings till now, and these are the future halvings which you or your children or your grandchildren will witness. So this is the first halving, and how the reward was cut to half. If you can look closely, after the first halving, which occurred in 2012, the block reward, which was initially 50 Bitcoin, was reduced to 25 Bitcoin. Imagine, people used to earn 50 Bitcoin per mining. But after 4 years, after the first halving, this was cut to half and was reduced to 25 Bitcoin. After the second halving, we saw in 2016, this reward was again reduced to half, from 25 Bitcoin to 12.5 Bitcoin. What is half of 25? That is 12.5. And the last halving, which we saw in 2020, 4 years back, 2020 was the third halving event. And this cut the reward from 12.5 to 6.25. So if you can calculate, this is the simple formula. Every halving occurs after another 4 years. And now we are in the year of Bitcoin halving, the fourth Bitcoin halving, which is soon to happen. And this will again cut the reward from 6.25 to 3.125. But this is not going to stop until the year 2136. After 2136, no more mining will be there, because the block reward will be reduced to zero. This is how we limit the supply of Bitcoin. And these are the upcoming Bitcoin halvings, 2024 halving, which is in this year, and it is expected in another 3 months from now, April, any day in April it can happen, and this will cut the reward from 6 point uh, 6.5 25 Bitcoin to 3.125. Then we will see 2028 halving, then 2032, and then so on, right? So these are the upcoming halvings. But the most important thing to understand about this halving is that the total supply of Bitcoin is now the total Bitcoins that are due to be generated, the total Bitcoin which are planned to be generated after the halvings, after this halving, is less than 7%. Almost 93% of all the Bitcoin has already been officially mined. So what you can imagine, 93% of Bitcoin is already in the market. They are circulating, and less than 7% or even 7% of the remaining Bitcoin will be mined in another 100 years or more. So how this halving happens and how this affects the supply and demand in the market, and the most important thing, on the prices of Bitcoin, this is what we are going to learn now. How Bitcoin halving happens, and what is the effect of this halving on our price of Bitcoin. So if you look closely, let me explain this wonderful chart. This is the most important chart. If you are into crypto, even if you don't have any Bitcoin, this is the one chart that you must understand very, very well. This is the most important chart in all the crypto industry, that is called Bitcoin stock to flow chart. What is Bitcoin stock to flow chart? This is the journey till date, from the year it started till date, of the Bitcoin prices going up and down, and the different eras in Bitcoin, and all the cycles of Bitcoin. It all started from the year 2009, and if you look closely, we just celebrated the 15th birthday of Bitcoin, because it started, the first Bitcoin transaction, the first launch of Bitcoin started in 3rd January, on 3rd January 2009. So this is the month of January we are in, and we are in 2024. So you can see we have just celebrated 15th birthday of Bitcoin. It started, but it we are here now. Where are we now? We are here now. Okay. So this is the journey of Bitcoin from the starting day until here. And as you can see, look closely, you can see we have divided all these, the eras of the different eras into different zones or eras in Bitcoin stock to flow chart. We see a pioneers era, then see a speculators era, then we see a retail traders era, and now we are into corporate era, and the next era, which is going to start very soon, will be called a government era. Why we call it these by these names? Because these eras are named on the most important thing that happened during this 4 year cycle. So how do we divide this? How do we divide this into 4 year cycles? We see this is the blue dotted line. These are the blue dotted line that you can see, and the gap between each is just 4 years. The gap between each line is 4 years, and this line, this blue dotted line, shows the Bitcoin halving event. The first halving happened in the year 2012, then 2016, and the last halving, which happened in 2020. These are the halving events, and the next halving is coming in 2024. So if you look closely, the prices of Bitcoin has been rising and falling every year, and even every month it has been rising and falling. But if you look at the larger picture of this chart, uh, you can see here that this is a clear uptrend. If you can look closely, this is not coming down. This is something that is going up. And if you have a little knowledge of trading, this we call a clear uptrend. So prices is going up and coming down, but in the longer run, it is going very high. So if you look closely, let me highlight some important things about this chart. By the time it started in 2009, the prices were as low as 0.01 dollars per Bitcoin. This was the starting point, starting price of Bitcoin. It was even less than $1 per Bitcoin. But now we see we are here. We are here. I will request someone is writing on the screen. So please stop this so we can concentrate on the training. So I will share again. So whoever is using the annotation, please stop and let me share and explain the chart again. Okay. So I hope you cooperate and okay. So we are here now. So what we were talking that the price of Bitcoin when it started was even less than $1. It was exactly $0.01. But now we have a Bitcoin, and if you want to buy one Bitcoin, it is no less than $46,000. $46,000. And yesterday it touched 47,000 even, right? So it is 46,000 right now, and it started from here. It started from here. Nobody knew what is this new Bitcoin, what is this new money, what to do with it, how to spend it, how to buy it. But people started to use it as it was an open software, and they started mining because this was the only thing that they can understand, that if we mine Bitcoin by solving complex mathematical puzzles over internet, then we can have a mining reward. And that time the mining reward was 50 Bitcoin, right? So people started mining, and soon they started accumulating more and more of Bitcoin, and the prices started to go up. Prices started to go up. And in this was the era which is called pioneer era, because only the pioneers started working on Bitcoin. And during this era was the time when the first ever trade on Bitcoin happened. And there was one fine gentleman, and he wanted to buy orders two pizzas from for his children. So he didn't had enough money, so he paid in form of Bitcoin. He exactly paid 10,000 Bitcoin for two large pizza for his children. So this was the first ever Bitcoin trade, and this started a new era that people also understood that we can buy products or services using Bitcoin. We can use it as a currency, as a new currency. So this started prices to go up. This forced the prices to go up, and this time the first all-time high price was here, and it was around $10. As you can see, it was slightly more than $10 per Bitcoin, right? This was the highest price in this era. The highest price, the all-time high price was around $10 to $12 per Bitcoin, and this was around here. And as the Bitcoin price started touched the new all-time high, it started to go down, and prices started to go down. But soon we saw the first halving happen in the year 2012. 2012 was the first halving, and the effect of this halving was so immense, so intense, that the prices started to surge up. The prices started to go up, and they touch and form a new all-time high. And this time it was around $1,000 per Bitcoin. $1,000 was the second all-time high created, and this was created in the second era, which we call speculators era. Speculators, why we call it? Because a lot of people, they realize that this is an asset which can grow, and it is growing in value. They started investing and buying Bitcoin. And when a lot of people started investing and buying Bitcoin, the prices is going to go up. So 1,000 from less than $1 to $10, and now it has touched $1,000 mark, which was the highest till date. Again, prices started to go down. Again, prices started to go down until the second halving came, and it came exactly 4 years after the first halving, and this was in the year 2016. As soon as this halving happened, the supply, the demand for Bitcoin started increasing, and a lot of people started buying Bitcoin, and soon the Bitcoin prices touch a new all-time high. This era was called retail traders era. Why we call it retail traders era? Why we call it retail traders? Because in this era, a lot of small shop owners, the shop owners, retailers, and shopkeepers around the market, they started putting a sign outside their market that we accept Bitcoin payments. If you come and do any shopping from our shop, you can pay in Bitcoin also. So this increased the awareness around the people. New people started coming to Bitcoin. They all want to buy Bitcoin. So this took the price from $1,000 to a new all-time high. This time it was around $12,000 per Bitcoin. Can you imagine that $1 or less than $1 Bitcoin is now $12,000 per Bitcoin? This was the latest and the new all-time high. And then again, market started to go down, because once it touches the all-time highest price, it has to go down. Because why it goes down, you have to understand this, because when demand increases, a lot of people started to buy Bitcoin, and when all the people who have bought the Bitcoin and it reaches the highest price, then is the time that people start to sell it, because they all want to realize the profit. They all want to sell Bitcoin for a good profit, and when a lot of selling is happening, the prices is going to go down. Again, we saw the third halving happen, and the third halving again pushed the price to a new all-time high. And this is the era we are in, and this era just completed in 2023. We have completed the fourth year, and this era, the all-time high price was unimaginable, unpredictable, because it was even greater than what one could expect. This was $69,000 per Bitcoin. The highest price till date was recorded $69,000 per Bitcoin, and it was in the year 2021. Just 1 year after the halving, we saw the new all-time high, and it was higher than all the previous highs, and it was $69,000 per Bitcoin. So this was incredible, and a lot of people enjoyed. Even our Royal Q was started in the year 2021, in April 2021, and a lot of new people who started Royal Q at that time, they became millionaires in the first 7 to 8 months. They became millionaires in the first 8 or 9 months, because of this bull run, which was a golden opportunity for all of them. Again, we enter into bear market, but now we are nearing the next halving, which is going to happen very soon. We are already in 2024, and we all know that this year is the halving year, which happens after 4 years. So the people who had been waiting for the next halving, the wait is now to the end, and you will soon see the next halving, which is going to happen in April to 2024. So what are the few things that you learn from this Bitcoin chart? What are the few things that you learned? Let me help you. First thing that you learn, that this era is divided by these 4 lines that shows that is the halving year. The halving year is very important, and this starts a new era every time this happens, and it happens exactly 4 years and we are now very close to the next halving year, right? The first thing we learned by now. The second thing we learned that soon, 1 year, exactly 1 year after we see this halving, we see that Bitcoin touch forms a new all-time high. But we see that Bitcoin reaches a new all-time high around 1 year after this halving event. And before 1 year, before this halving happens, the prices are at the bottom. Can you see? The prices are at the bottom before this halving. Exactly 1 year before, the prices are at the bottom, and 1 year after this halving, the prices touch a new all-time high. This is the second thing, and we now know the importance and the effect of this halving. The third thing that you also see here, that no matter the market goes up or comes down, no matter how bad the market falls down, every time we see a higher all-time high. The first all-time high was $10, then $1,000, then 12,000, and now it was $69,000. So we see that every time Bitcoin forms a all-time high, it breaks the previous record. It has to be higher than all the previous all-time high. This we see. Can you see this pattern? If you connect these higher point, you see that it is breaking its own record. So what you can predict now, you cannot calculate the exact price of the next all-time high, but very easily anyone can now see that the next all-time high will be higher than 69,000. It will be still be very high than 69,000. It cannot be less than 69,000. This is the next thing that you understand, that every time we see the Bitcoin halving, after 1 year, we see that Bitcoin breaks its all previous records and creates a new all-time high. Let me give you another insight from this chart. That is little hard to understand. If you see these are the highest point, you also see these are the lowest points. You see, this is the lowest point in this era. This is the lowest price in this era. This is the lowest price in this era. And was the lowest price in this era. You see, we see a highest price and we also see a lowest price. Now, let me give you an insight. The lowest price of this era, we are now talking in this era, the lowest price of this era is still higher than the highest price of previous era. The lowest price of this era. Let me prove it to you. We are all in 2024, and we saw the lowest price in the year 2022. 2 years back, the market crashed, and the year 2022 was a bearish year, and the lowest price in this era, in this 2022, was $15,000 per Bitcoin, was around $15,000 per Bitcoin. And what was the highest price of previous era? The highest price, the all-time high price of previous era was $12,000. That means the price always goes up and comes down, but it cannot go below the previous year's all-time high. It cannot go below the previous all-time high. Did it happen also before? The lowest price of this era, the lowest price of previous era was still higher than the highest price of previous era. The lowest price of this third era was still higher than the highest price of second era. Again, you can see here the lowest price of the second era. The lowest price of the second era was still higher than the highest price of the first era. What does this pattern shows you? This pattern shows you no matter how bad the market comes down and crashes down, still the lowest price cannot go below the previous era's all-time high. Can you see this pattern? The lowest price of each era is still higher than the highest price of previous era. Now just imagine what could be the lowest price of the next era. The next era, we are just about to enter in 2024, this government era that we call, and this will start in another 3 months from now, and April is the next halving year. Then we will enter into the government era, right? The next era. You all know we cannot calculate the highest price. It may be $100,000, it may be $1 million, it may be $10 million, but we can now clearly say, we can clearly calculate the lowest price of the next era. No matter how bad the market falls down, it will be still higher than the $69,000 price, because this was the highest price in this era. It cannot go below. It cannot go below $69,000. It will be still higher than 69,000. So now we know the lowest price of next era should be more than $69,000. So if the lowest price of next era is $69,000 or above, now it is up to your imagination how high can be the highest price of next era. It can be $100,000. It can be $1 million. Most of the experts around the world, they have drawn this trend line. If you see this blue trend line, which is passing through all the candles, and they all agree to this point that the next all-time high, if you connect it to this chart, it should be $1 million per Bitcoin. $1 million is the price that most experts say. So, what is the next thing that we must learn about this chart? If you look closely, this is the effect of halving. If you look, what is the effect of this halving? If you still don't understand, this is the effect of halving. Before halving, it was the price was here, and after halving, the price reaches here. Again, the second halving pushed the price from here to here. The third halving pushed the price from here to here. So, what is the biggest opportunity that this chart presents to all of you? All of you must understand this is the opportunity of a lifetime. That this halving, before this 1 year before this halving, we are given this opportunity to buy Bitcoin at the lowest price, at the bottom price. And 1 year after the halving, we see the Bitcoin touches a new all-time high. Again, if you missed this first time, again this was given to you second time. 1 year before the halving, if you had bought Bitcoin, it would be at the lowest price, and still you can sell at the highest price 1 year after the halving. If you missed this second time also, this was again given to you third time. 1 year before the third halving, the price was at the bottom, and 1 year after the halving, the price was at the top. So if you didn't took advantage of these three opportunities, if you missed all the three opportunities that most of us missed, this is the fourth time that Bitcoin gave you this opportunity. 1 year before the halving, 1 year before, if you had started accumulating Bitcoin, you would be very happy now, because Bitcoin has already crossed $46,000 mark, and the next mark is more than 50,000. The next resistance is more than 50,000, and this will not stop till Bitcoin reaches and forms a new all-time high. And we all know it can be anywhere from $100,000 to $1 million, anywhere it can be in the coming 1 or 2 years. So Bitcoin is about to start a massive bull run. It will happen. These all things, if you don't understand, it will still happen. If you understand it, it will still happen. If you don't understand it, the most happiest people will be those people who understand and take action now. take action to change your future, because this is going to happen very soon. This is estimated that April 15th will be the day of halving, and this is an old slide. Now it is less than 100 days, around 90 days are left, just 3 months from now. And one more thing, if you understand this 4 year cycle, you also know you also know that Bitcoin follows a clear trend. This is a 4 year cycle that you must understand, because if you look from the starting till today, we see that Bitcoin is forming a 3 years of uptrend. 3 years of uptrend is followed by 1 year of downtrend. After 1 year of downtrend, we again saw 3 years of uptrend. 3 years is uptrend. So this is just 4 year cycle. Out of these 4 years, 1 year is downtrend and 3 years are of years of uptrend. If you saw 1 year of downtrend in 2018, you also saw 3 years of uptrend from 2019 to 2021. And we also 2022, which was 1 year of downtrend. And now we understand what is coming in 2024 and 2025. So these 3 years will be up market. We already saw Bitcoin from $15,000 in 2022. It has now reached to $44,000, and it is not stopping now. It is not stopping, because a lot of new things are happening in the market that today we will understand. So when is the best time to buy Bitcoin? When is the best time? When all these four factors are in our favor. And we are so lucky right now. All the four factors are in our favor. The adoption is still low, as low as 5% of the world's population is invested into crypto. Even less than 5% of the world's population is invested into crypto. 95% of the world is still to come into crypto. So adoption is very low. The price is low. It is not so low now. It is not as low as 15,000 or 30,000, but still it is very low as compared to the previous all-time high. We are just halfway there, and major updates are happening. You all must be aware of all the new updates that are happening, and we also share with you all the daily on the daily basis. And we all know that the Bitcoin halving is approaching, and it is going to happen very soon. Just imagine if you had invested $10,000 in Bitcoin 12 years ago. Just imagine. This is just a comparison. What would have been your return on investment in these 12 years? If you had invested $10,000 12 years before in Apple company, which is the number one mobile company in the world, your $10,000 would have become $109,000. This is good growth, but just imagine if you had invested that $10,000 in Netflix, it will be $112,000. If you had invested Nvidia, that $10,000 would have become $286,000. And if you had invested $10,000 in the number one company in the world, Tesla, your $10,000 would have been $720,000. But if you had invested that $10,000 12 years ago in Bitcoin, that would have given you $653 million today. $653 million would be your return on investment. You are now wise enough to understand and decide where is the best thing to invest, where is the best asset to invest. But if you are thinking you don't have $44,000 or $46,000 right now to buy one Bitcoin, it is very easy for all of you. You don't have to buy one full Bitcoin, because the makers of Bitcoin, the Satoshi Nakamoto of Bitcoin, has made it so simple and so easy for everyone that you can start with the smallest unit of Bitcoin, that is one Satoshi. and one Bitcoin can be divided into 100 million Bitcoin Satoshis. You can see here. One full Bitcoin can be divided into 100 million small parts. It is the smallest unit of Bitcoin, that is called Satoshi. Even if you have a few dollars, a small capital, you can still invest in Bitcoin. You don't have to buy full Bitcoin, but just decide to start now. Decide to start, because still the adoption is very low. Only 4.5% of the global population is invested in crypto. You are still early. Don't think we are 15 years late. Think we are still early. We are among the top 5% of the world's population. The rest is yet to come. According to a statement by Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong, he says that crypto users will reach 2 to 3 billion in the next 10 years. It is still early, and you can be the earliest one. And according to Michael Saylor, he is the CEO of Blockstream, of MicroStrategy. He's the CEO of MicroStrategy, and he is one of the biggest investors in Bitcoin. He has a lot of Bitcoin stacked in his wallet. He says that Bitcoin industry will grow 100 times in the next decade, with mainstream institutional adoptions coming. So what are the major happenings that we now see that are coming to Bitcoin that we must understand? We must understand why the next crypto bull market could start in 2024. Why the next bull run is going to start in 2024. Just compare it. What was the price of Bitcoin 1 year before the halving and 1 year after the halving? If you compare in 2012, the first halving, the price before the halving was $182. This is a fact. This is the real data that we have taken from internet. And $182 was the price before halving 2012. And 2012 halving pushed the price 1 year later to $510 per Bitcoin. If you see 2016 halving, the second halving, the price was before halving, the price was $661 per Bitcoin, and 1 year later it was 2,600 per Bitcoin. Before 2020 halving, the last halving which we saw, before this 2020 halving, the price was as low as $8,600. $8,600 was the price before 2020 halving, and 1 year later it was at $58,000, and it went up to $69,000. So what is the price now? It is not as expensive as you see, as you imagine. The price now is $46,000, and 1 year later, how high can it go? You can now calculate. You can now imagine what will be the price 1 year later, the halving. And the second most important event, this was the first event we should be prepared of in 2024, as this is the starting of 2024. So you must be prepared for the halving event, and all, as well as you should be also be prepared for what is going to happen even before halving. Before halving, even as we talk now, these things are in the final stages, to be decided and declared. The Bitcoin ETF is yet to be approved, and it is proposed to be approved in this January month. In this month only, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, or maybe within 1 week, this is going to be approved. And what is Bitcoin ETF? If you don't know, Bitcoin ETF stands for Exchange Traded Funds. So just like you trade in stock market, in share market ETFs, you will now be able to trade in Bitcoin ETF using Bitcoin shares, and even without owning a Bitcoin physically, even without owning a Bitcoin, you can invest into Bitcoin shares through these ETF. Just wait for these ETF to be approved. And the pioneers and the biggest among all the applicants, all the applicants who have applied for Bitcoin ETF is BlackRock. BlackRock is the number one, is the biggest invest asset management firm in the world. It is a $10 trillion firm which which has applied for Bitcoin ETF. Not even him, even Fidelity, which is the second largest asset management firm, they also filed. And following them, Invesco, Valkyrie, and many more, around 10 to 12. There are almost a dozen of them. They have all applied for Bitcoin ETF. And it is most expected that this will be approved within a few days. Just imagine what could happen if these ETFs are approved. You cannot even imagine how massive this could be, because these are the turnovers of these four big asset management firms. These are the annual turnovers. This is how big they are, and this is how big is Bitcoin. Can you imagine? Can you compare? Bitcoin is just around $800 billion right now. It was 580 when this slide was created. It is around $800 billion industry. The total market cap is around $800 billion. Billion. I'm not talking about trillion. And these asset management firms have trillions of dollars. They are coming to Bitcoin. They want to buy Bitcoin. And just imagine if these four investment firms, if these four ETF are approved and they decide to allocate only 4% of their total money to buy Bitcoin, they will buy each and every Bitcoin available on this planet. They have this ability, they have this capacity to buy each and every Bitcoin available in the market by just investing their 4% of their funds. So this is so huge, so massive, that this could break the all-time high even before this halving happens. You don't have to wait for another 3 months even. This could happen even before the Bitcoin halving, that Bitcoin can break the previous $69,000 mark, as 27 trillion, even more than $27 trillion are coming to Bitcoin, which is not even 1 trillion right now. 27 trillion are entering into $1 trillion industry. So you cannot even imagine what could be, and this is just a matter of time. Just a news will come. And even last night, if you are aware, a fake news came, and this was what we saw in the market right now. Again, Bitcoin started to go up, but as soon as they confirmed that this is not a real news, that it started and came back to the point it started. So this could happen. This could happen. This was just a trailer to give you an idea what could have happened if these ETF are approved. So $9 trillion BlackRock CEO, he himself predicts that cryptocurrencies will surpass traditional currencies worldwide. Why is he interested? Why he is interested? He is the richest man today. BlackRock CEO, one of the richest men, because he has $9 trillion firm. And he's interested in Bitcoin because he believes that this is the most powerful currency of the future. It will even surpass US dollar. This will be accepted worldwide. And again, a statement from Fundstrat says that Bitcoin could pass $200,000 as institutions like BlackRock move in. This is their prediction. $200,000. Let us see what Standard Chartered Bank says. Standard Chartered Bank predicts that Bitcoin price by the year 2024, in this year, it could touch $120,000. What is the price right now? It's $46,000. It could touch $120,000 within this year. Even if you start today, you are not late. Bitcoin can hit 10 trillion market cap, says investors Dan Tapiero. These are all big experts around the world. They have billions of dollars invested into Bitcoin, and they have more knowledge than all of us, because they have a lot of experience and a lot of investments in Bitcoin. He's a billionaire. We see Trim Draper is a billionaire, and he predicts that Bitcoin by the next year, 2025, can hit $250,000 price. Can you imagine? $46,000 is just starting right now. And who doesn't knows him? He is the most popular author of all time. He is Robert T. Kiyosaki, who wrote the bestseller book of all time, Rich Dad Poor Dad. All the people around the world follow him. And he states that US dollar is going to die because Bitcoin is going to hit $120,000 next year. And he also predicts that Bitcoin could touch $500,000 in 2025. That is next year. So these 2 years are very important. 2024, which has already started, in 2025, because 2024 is the year of ETF approval. It is the year of Bitcoin halving, and it can start a massive bull run. These two big events can start a massive bull run, and this is going to continue till 2025, when we see 1 year after this halving, we always see that Bitcoin forms a new all-time high. So you can be prepared for this, because all the people around the world, all the richest people around the world are already prepared. They have stacked thousands and thousands of Bitcoins in their wallets, and they are waiting for these events to start. Cathie Woods, she's a big investor in Bitcoin. She's the owner of ARK Investors. She has also filed for Bitcoin ETF, and it is yet to be approved. She believes that Bitcoin can touch 1.4 million in the bullish case in 2030, in the 2030 year. And even if the market crashes, she still believes that Bitcoin in the most bearish case cannot go below $258,000 per Bitcoin. So just to give you a recap, before I change the topic for today and take you to the next part, just a quick recap of what is going to happen very soon. This is a very important year. 2024 is a very important year, because this month is the month of January, and it is the month of Bitcoin ETF approval. Next month you will see CZ, who's facing some charges, and he would the decision will be coming in February. It will also impact on Bitcoin prices. And the April year is Bitcoin halving year, when the Bitcoin will be half, and this is the fourth halving. And June is the month of Ethereum spot ETF. Just like Bitcoin ETF, this is a Bitcoin ETF, and the next June, this June of 2024, will be the month of Ethereum spot ETF. In September, United States elections. These are very big events coming in this year, and the results will be declared in September. So all these events have big impacts on crypto industry, and these are all going to impact on a positive way. And be prepared for what is coming. This is just a starting of bull run. A massive bull run is approaching, and those who are prepared will be the most gainers of this new bull run.